Well,
what is quantum?
So I can explain this. Right. So the quantum is
That sounds like it's just set up.
No. So basically, the fundamental principle of quantum means that that there are things in 4 states, which is so you know how binary is like 1 and 0s.
Yeah.
So it's on or off.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, what quantum this is the fundamental is that it's you can have something on, off, on and off.
Well, it's like
No. You can have one. I can't remember.
Can't even have to Google this
Google
one.
it.
I'm gonna save this man.
Yeah. Cool.
Hello,
Hello.
and welcome back to the PMH podcast.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's good to be. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Again.
I mean, we tried to film this on Friday. It's now Monday the 8th. And so we tried to film this Friday, but had some technical difficulties, which
Well, I mean, not so much technical difficulties.
I mean, it literally was technical difficulty.
Yeah, it was.
We've had a bit of a problem as we're getting our camera repaired, so we've got to rejig the whole podcast setup.
yeah, we've had to change it quite a bit
We're in a new location
Yeah.
again.
I like this one though.
I think
cozy.
this is going to be our for the foreseeable.
Yeah, this is
Hopefully.
probably it. I mean, it's all set up, ready to go.
Because we all quite liked the sofa arrangement, didn't we?
Yeah, we
We
enjoyed
do.
that. And we got a good amount of feedback on the last one as well.
People liked. I mean, I also think it's a bit more kind of personal. We're all a cappella-ing it right now.
We're just sitting here on the sofa having
Yeah.
a chit
No,
chat.
I'm gonna crack a window though. It's quite warm in here.
It is pretty
All
warm.
right.
For
But
some
yeah.
reason, this room that we only use for an hour or two every now and again is boiling.
It
and
gets
our
really-
office is
Yeah.
freezing.
But Brad, you got a couple of things on the agenda today because this is your podcast today,
I mean,
isn't it?
yeah, I did for Friday. I'm not sure how many of them are relevant. But I've got.
I mean, a lot of them we can still talk about.
Yeah.
But first of all,
If anything, we got actually more news. 'Cause we
Yeah.
got that whole Elon Musk thing to talk about.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
breaking news.
I mean, so it's been a bit. I mean, we haven't done a podcast now for over a week, maybe a week and a bit
2
more.
weeks.
When was the last one we did? The last one we did was Monte Carlo. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, Friday would have been a week.
Yeah, Friday of a week.
Last Friday, so
Yeah.
you know, it's been a while. We're now back at our office and doing a lot of work from the office now, compared to when our last podcast was in quarantine.
Yeah.
We got back to France.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're back into it. We're back in motion.
Yeah, it's taken us a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was severely fatigued
I was
for a
going to say
little
we all
bit.
feel pretty low energy right now. I think we need a bit of a
Yeah, we do.
little bit of a pick me up.
A deep
That was
sigh
the
goes a long
opposite.
way.
Yeah, that was the opposite.
I mean, like, it's been a difficult one because getting the podcast Friday.
because you've done so much work
Right,
trying to
yeah.
make this work.
Friday, I was just high energy, ready to go.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but things will pick up as we go in the podcast.
Yeah.
This will not be low energy. This
It's
will
also
be.
unfamiliar arrangement, isn't it?
Oh god, it's
as
so
well.
so unfamiliar.
So much harder.
Never been
Yeah,
here before
it's
in my life.
weird. Yeah.
We're rambling. I think
Yeah.
we move on.
We are.
Yeah, let's actually get onto something people want to hear.
How's
about.
I was gonna say how everyone's week been, but it's Monday.
Yeah, dude, you're not. This is not going well so
last
far.
week.
Right.
Week.
Should
How was last week?
Well, getting back to
Yeah.
Well, for me, last week was just it was a hard because everything was all over the place. We were trying to arrange stuff and trying to get work to do,
The
but
middle week wasn't.
yeah, it was one of those weeks of doing nothing again. Well,
We had a couple meetings, had a couple calls.
we had lots of meetings and calls.
No shooting last week. Well, you did. Did you do jewelry last week?
No, I didn't.
No.
I was just
So-
editing last.
Yeah, it
week.
was just editing. Real office job last week,
It's
which was fine, I guess. 'cause
I'd say since we got back from France, things have been really quite unusual, haven't they? As in,
positive though.
yeah. No, good.
I mean, do you know what the weirdest thing? Like, I was thinking about it since you've come back, Quinn. We've been anything but normal. Nothing has been like the way it was.
I mean, the way we do stuff normally isn't normal.
Isn't conventional
but this
anyway.
is very, very.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just economically as well, we are in weird times, aren't we?
I mean, it just so the last 2 lockdowns that we've had were in the UK now, 3rd or 4th lockdown? now?
Third.
Third?
Third,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so this is like the last two were very different to this one.
Well, the first one was quite novel.
Yeah. The second one we were kind of we were in the swing of it, and
Nothing
now
really
it's
happened.
like everyone's kind of in this weird play. Like,
How long is this going to go on for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for us, like in the world, things are getting back not normal, but we're hearing good news, aren't we?
We're more this way rather than that way. Now,
We're starting to see an end point, but there is still no end point in the near future. But
we're moving towards
we're
whatever.
moving towards the end point, but we have actually
No idea what
where
the end
point is.
and that's the weird thing. Whereas like, for us in business, that's a hard thing to plan for.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's the biggest thing right now is that we cannot plan the future.
We just got
for the
to
future.
take it every week. Well, we made the joke this morning that you were just like, it's Monday. We're going to try and make it to Friday and make sure that we're all right. And it's just like, that is literally...
It's so short term.
That is the world. The world is just like, let's just get to Friday. If we're all good by Friday,
it's another week.
That's great.
It's another week under the... I think it's so much that for us at the minute, it's literally...
Not that we're struggling week
We're
to week.
just trying to make
the
survive. Because look, for us, we're a young company. We've now got 3 employees. So we're having to pay. That's 3 mouths we've got to feed. That's, it's a lot it's a lot for us.
Let's just make sure we
hang on.
It's not
and also like because we would be doing absolutely fine, but then obviously we've got like the end of the financial year, VAT things to pay
all of
off
that
and
fun
everything.
stuff.
So this is the most expensive month. So you know that's why we're feeling like this.
just make sure that we can do this.
However, we do have interest like by potential clients, which is good. So I feel like we're in a mindset now, all 3 of us, where we're really wanting to, seriously develop the business and grow it.
Well, we're just...
And we are. Well, the thing is, we are, but we're also doing it at the hardest time.
So we're trying to grow in a time when everyone else is trying to not spend any money.
We're gagging for it, basically. We're just like, we just want to get out there and
we're doing
do
well.
it.
I would say we are doing well, though.
Yeah.
We are doing very well, and we're lucky that we're still in business.
I mean, the amount of people. I mean, seeing what we were talking this morning about new businesses in the area that we've seen, and we're thinking like, that. For us, the fact that we made it this far is impressive. So the fact that they're starting business in these sorts of times is, that's that they're either going to make the most of it because they can chuck low prices at people
because they have no overheads.
Or it could go tits up. So it's going to be interesting to see how those turn out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still making profit.
Exactly.
And a fair amount of it. So we're
imagine
doing okay.
Imagine if we'd taken a loan out at the start,
mate. I don't think. One, we're lucky we don't need it, or
we never need it. Yeah,
but also, I'd be worried,
mate. Yeah,
there's just so many things like these. I think especially when
like
people
our
start
overheads are so low right now.
People jump in at the start and be like, right, we need to do this, and
we need all this money.
Money at it, and then before they know it, you're 200 grand in the hole, and you think, fuck.
I've now got
what do I do now?
That was a very 80s and 60s, 70s, 80s things where they'd get the office, they'd get the Porsche,
you
they'd
need
get the company
you
cars.
need everything like right now.
Yeah, you need it was more how you looked rather than what you actually like. So they'd almost get the cars, the company, and then figure out, so what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that, but with a website. That was a lot less.
It costs our website costs us £25 to make, and we're thinking right now we've got to figure out what our thing is.
Yeah, it's like they were thinking about like a couple of tens of thousands in debt.
Well, that's the great thing about the fact that pretty much most of what we do is digital, apart from obviously like man hours. And stuff.
We sell digital assets. We don't really sell physical product, which is low overheads for us, but also
and low storage. We don't need warehouses.
It's an expensive thing to create, though. You need a lot of equipment.
Yeah, and we were lucky that we built it over time.
Yeah.
Should we want to get into
Let's get into it.
Get into some topics?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we start with Elon Musk and Bitcoin, I think, because that's pretty relevant, breaking.
I mean, today, what was that, this morning that was announced?
Yeah.
1.5 billion of Tesla stock has been put into Bitcoin.
And he's announced that they should be taking Bitcoin as payment very soon in the next... I mean, Elon Musk decides that he wants to do something in a time frame, he does it. Same with Neuralink. He went, oh yeah, we'll do it in like a couple of years. And it's just like a couple of months later, Neuralink's already getting trialed. It's just like...
I mean, the thing with Elon Musk is he is an innovator. He's not a...
He doesn't wait for anyone.
I don't think he's an entrepreneur. I don't think you can just consider him an entrepreneur. He is fully innovating. He's looking at things.
Yeah, well, he's just got the money and the ability to just be like, all right, I've got the money right now.
But also,
let's do
people
it.
trust that. Like he's trustworthy.
Well, this is the thing. He's kind of,
which is worrying.
He thinks about things in such a linear aspect. It's like, how do we do this? We need, like, in order to do this, I need to do this, and I think that's why people trust him. But also, it's like if you look at the generally like the actions he's taking, it seems like he's more of a creative, but he's a creative through linear thinking.
Yeah.
And I think it's very much kind of like how consider like scientists. They are very creative people because you are just looking at things as in the atoms and
all that malarkey that we don't know about.
We don't understand it, but to them can be a very creative process.
Yeah, he's incredible. I'd love to go for a pint with him. He doesn't have the time though.
I saw a quote about him earlier.
I don't think we could operate at his level though. He operates at such a high level, and we just won't be able to understand that ever.
Well, yeah, that's the level I want to operate at.
I don't. I
but
think
I know I need
I
a
think
lot.
you're just. I think you're born with that. I think you're born with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think he's in a different ballpark. He's kind of a Steve Jobs level character, or a Bill Gates. He operates on those sorts of levels, which even because you can even have some of the greatest CEOs, businessmen in the world, but they're not like infamous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder how the shareholders of Tesla have taken this.
Well, Bitcoin's now at its highest rate since. I think it's at its highest ever now.
Yeah, but I was reading something about how there has to be a ceiling of any currency, and Bitcoin is apparently like the ceiling is at 9 trillion or something.
Well, it's big. It's higher than gold, isn't it?
It's nearing that point. So I think that's maybe why he's done it now, because soon enough we're going to get to the point where there's actually no more Bitcoin to be mined.
But I think there's see that's the thing with Bitcoin. They can control it, so they can add more or take away if they want.
Well, they can slow it down, create more, and then let it live.
And also, they're in the middle of this year, which is was following the back in January. They had the Bitcoin convention, the Global Currency Convention, which is they talk about cryptos. And
imagine the guy.
The representatives there for Bitcoin were explaining how they are looking to add more to the market. So it is, yes, the value is going to almost slightly drop, but there is going to be more. So there's going to be more people playing in the market. So it's only going to grow.
Well, yeah, you've got to look at it as a kind of a foreign currency, and then if people have, because this is why like the pound's been having issues, is because people don't have trust
and faith
in the pound. So they're obviously going to.
But then you think people don't have trust in the pound, yet people don't have trust in the euro either, and the pound's doing a
people have less trust in the euro, but
that's for some reason
a whole different.
People have trust in something that doesn't even have a face. People have trust in crypto, and it doesn't even.
But that's because it's not run by.
Exactly,
it's not controlled by
centrally controlled, and that's what people like because. And that's what it will eventually move to. I do think we will eventually move to a total digital currency. It's just
that was what I was going to talk about. Is when
it's also, and also the reason I don't think while we're on it, I don't think we've got to that. It hasn't happened quicker, is because it's such a grey area with Bitcoin at the minute, and cryptocurrencies, because there is no control over it.
You got a lot of people saying it's going to fail.
A lot of people are using it. Drug lords are using it now to hide their cash.
The Silk Road as well.
And sorry, I had a few technical difficulties. We're back now, but so like a lot of drug lords are using cryptocurrencies now to hide their cash. They're putting it straight into there, and then almost washing their money that way. So I think like certainly governments, that's why they have a lot of problem with Bitcoin and.
It's so unregulated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so unregulated.
Yeah. Which is something that they can't. They like having control of everything, so when they can't have control of it,
when they can't make any money off. So the whole reason they're pissed off is because they can't tax it.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like if you look at how many investigations are solved due to like them looking at where money went from
exactly
that to that, and you can't do that with Bitcoin. However, that's not to say that there is no.
Well, if you look at Ripple's the only government-controlled cryptocurrency.
So they're good or bad?
Well, they're centrally controlled. So actually, what could go two ways?
Doesn't that defeat the point?
No, because it's still a crypto. However, what that means, it could grow quickly in share price because people, actually, the governments are using it, so it could then be widely adopted.
Yeah.
So actually, that was my bet on it. That's why I put my money into it. But besides, it's low share price at the minute. it's a bet that you could potentially, in the long term, pay off quicker, because if it's centrally controlled right now, actually the government could start to force it, not force it as a payment, but push it as a payment method. And I think that's what you might find. So that's why
next sort of stage.
That could I think the next stage of evolution is how the government can control it, and if they can, how they're going to do it, and then if they can't,
but who's the
what they're going to do about that?
Who's like the head of crypto and goes, yeah, okay, you can regulate this now. Like, who's gonna?
Well, there's
no.
For like in England, it'll be the Bank of England will be in charge of that.
Yeah, no, but like who from crypto? The crypto side will be like, let's sign a deal.
Well, they're all run like companies now.
Exactly.
They're all run like multi-billion-dollar companies. So they'll obviously, I reckon they'll have their.
Was that the guy that made Bitcoin? The guy with the no name.
Shigeru Nakamoto.
You're really close.
Yeah, the Nakamoto.
Oh my god,
Nakamoto? Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just like, who goes to the Bank of England and goes, yeah, you can like, who is the guy? There's no guy, and I don't think there ever will be a top dog, because that's what they're trying to get away from. They're trying to get away from there being a top dog.
Almost like Robin Hood characters, aren't they? They're trying to take it away from.
Yeah, it's just like we've been.
Well,
it's what I saw something about like the 2008 like recession. Like we had to bail out the banks. And it's just like
it's kind of as right wing as you can get, as free market as you can possibly get.
Yeah. Oh well, to avoid becoming a cryptocurrency podcast.
Also the thing with going on with back to Elon Musk, Tesla one of the first car companies to be able to offer like click and collect on your car. Or
that's mental.
Pay through your credit card and things like that, and having it delivered to your door.
Years ahead.
They are revolutionizing the process, and I think they're not at the minute. I don't think they're hitting their targets on production wise. Yeah. However,
people are still happy with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. So they're just delivering the Model Y now.
Do you think they're the modern day Apple? In respect of like, how Apple came in and they just changed the game. They just went, we're doing this. You can have a music.
I'd say it's even more hardcore than that. I'd say like.
Are you kidding me? More than Apple?
Yeah, I genuinely would.
Different. No,
I don't know.
I think not different times.
Are you talking about Elon Musk or just Tesla?
No, like Tesla's a company. And Elon Musk, the same as Steve Jobs.
See, they're not a car company, are they? They're a tech company.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Because I'd say Elon Musk is one step above
Steve Jobs.
100%. Steve Jobs does he does stuff that ultimately won't affect like the future of the human race.
Well, no,
I don't know. I think he did.
I think he did.
With an iPhone,
the personal computer,
the personal music players that are this big, and
it was always going to get there.
Yeah, but I don't think because the way computers, they were seen as devices
corporate
for business, not ever personal use.
So were Blackberries though.
Yeah, but the Apple made it so easy. Like there were probably were there electric cars before Tesla?
Yeah,
but they just weren't as easy as Tesla.
No, they weren't sexy.
Same as
my whole point is, so if I'm comparing Elon Musk to Steve Jobs, is that Steve Jobs, made a product that everybody would want. Okay, like the iPhone and stuff like that. But I feel like with Elon Musk, he's he's doing stuff that, as just a human race, we need. But the thing is, he's looking so far ahead that right now people don't really, we don't really have demand ourselves for that. It's a collective effort he's got to try and put together.
But would Elon Musk be Elon Musk if Steve Jobs didn't do what he did?
Yeah, I think he definitely would.
But also, right, Steve Jobs helped invent online payment. He's he quite literally invented PayPal.
Yeah.
Like he's inventing one of the best electric cars. He's inventing spaceship. Yes, Steve Jobs was good.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs was creative, but Steve Jobs didn't do a lot of the work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Inventors behind
but I just feel like,
whereas actually Elon, he's not only is the idea man,
he's the doer.
The guy pushing it on the marketing front. He's he's not just the face of the company,
and still being ethical as well,
engineering it as well.
I mean, as much as we know.
Well, as much as we know, he's being ethical. But
but is any company really ethical anymore?
Well, Steve Jobs definitely was.
I think Virgin Media House is.
We're three people. They employed
you get to a certain
thousands
point.
of
But then
people.
there's a bit like, is there actually any action that is selfless?
Can you actually get to a point of being can you get to a point of success without being being selfless?
Yeah. No.
You
no,
can't.
actually, no, definitely.
You can't get to that point of success being selfless from the start.
I think no matter what you do, you have to be selfish at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's so like you can get given a lot. So you could be, for example, there could be two people being given the same opportunity, but like if you maybe turn up to the meeting 5 minutes before and start talking to the CEO.
Yeah, you get in there first.
And you get in there first. That's you taking your chance.
Rather than being like, oh, I'm going to wait until the other person's here so we can go in together.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
I think it's just knowing when to take your opportunity.
On a larger scale, you could say that just as humankind, that's just the way we are. We are selfish.
It's competition.
The world would probably be a better place if the coronavirus wiped us out, but we're there looking for vaccines, so we survive.
That's all looking at things from an idealistic point of view, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you know, in an ideal world, yes, we would all work together and solve the coronavirus, but actually people are selfish to the point where we're going to help ourselves first, then we'll help everyone else.
Yeah, and you look at these uni students, going out to parties and stuff like that. God, that does my head in. Some, yeah.
Not all. Don't put them all into one bracket.
Yeah.
It's I think it's always a big topic of conversation with anyone is can we actually be a selfless society? Maybe, but I think the problem
very risky to try that.
There's always going to be someone who wants more. Look example for communism. In an idealistic world, communism would be perfect. Wouldn't it? Nobody
nobody in charge. It's just everyone giving equally.
Yeah.
But the problem is
people aren't built like that.
Yeah, we naturally want to better ourselves, and I think with that comes the problems.
As a good segue to bettering ourselves, did you hear that Lil Uzi Vert put a $24 million gem in his forehead? It is.
Have you not seen
Elenite and Co. Flawless Pink Diamond, and he started paying for it.
No, who's this guy?
What?
Lil Uzi Vert. I've heard of him. I just don't know which one's. I don't know which one's which.
Just a rapper. We'll show you. So basically, it's a $24 million stone, pink diamond, that he put in his forehead, like slap bang right there. I'll put a picture. Where's the? I can't even see the frame.
Here.
Maybe there.
To be fair, that's quite cool.
No, it's if he takes it out wrong, he could die.
Well, this is the thing, and also like the risk of infection.
Yeah, I think it looks a bit weird. I don't think it's been done very well.
No, it must have been done well. I don't think you can do it better than that. It's literally implanted into his skull as well.
Why would
if you punch him in the head, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I found funny.
Yeah, the One Division thing.
Yeah.
Guess how many carrots is in it?
A lot of carrot.
10 to 11.
10 to 11.
Yeah, carrots.
But
I don't know what
has anyone?
Yeah, I don't know. That's impressive.
I just wrote it down.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Here we go. So how exactly? How do you embed a 10 carat? It's 10 carat.
Yeah.
Diamond in your forehead.
He started paying for it in 2017.
Yeah, I see all these rappers.
I think this is where all the money should go. All the businessmen, they do boring stuff like buy jets and shit like that.
We all get our own.
What happens as he gets older? So does his forehead sag around the diamond or?
And who?
Connor, I hate to break you, I don't think he's thought of that.
Hey,
is it plastic surgery?
Well,
that is actually pretty mad. I kind of respect. I do kind of. I think he's
do what you want with your money.
I actually kind
do
of
what you want.
it.
I think it's funny.
But also, it's just like
Why?
we're actually getting to that point of humanity where it's like getting sci-fi.
I also saw that apparently aliens visited us in 2017, but they were so unimpressed with our intelligence that they decided to leave.
Right. Okay. Where did you hear that? But
well, see, I've heard different stories
on a very reputable news source on Instagram.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Israeli guy? He was saying he was.
He used to
Foreign
be
Affairs or
Ministry of Defense or something like that.
But he was saying that we have a deal with the aliens that the human race as us aren't ready
for aliens.
Aren't ready for aliens, so they're going to leave us alone. However,
and he was the one that made the deal with it.
However, if we carry on the way we are ruining the world, that they're going to come and kill us all because we don't deserve to have a planet.
A planet that's so good as what we have, yeah. Because we have like one of the best planets in the world in the universe.
Solar system.
Yeah.
Well, in the Milky
Way.
Way.
I mean, yeah.
So, have you ever watched the videos of like the planet Earth in the scale form of the rest of the universe?
Oh, and like zooms out. Oh. I watched that in chemistry in like year 11.
It's
so good.
So scary to think like how big things are on Earth, and then how actually insignificant we are to the rest of the universe.
Think about how big that glass is compared to like the planet.
Yeah.
So I watched just one thing, and you can relate that to even just the solar system. So Brian Cox was talking about it, and
big old Brian.
So basically, he said that if the sun was like this big, literally the size of like a football, or something, and then he put it in the middle of the lake, and then he was like going out from there, and he was saying the first planet from that, because you see diagrams of the solar system, it looks like the planets are all like really actually quite big and close together.
Yeah,
you have to walk like a football field back, and then something the size of like a tennis ball, like it's Mercury.
Yeah,
and then you have to go like to Earth is like 4 miles away from the center point. It's just, like the distance between each planet is so huge.
Well, it's like the problem is like in school when we're trying to teach kids how to understand the size of things, you just can't fathom.
You've got to use it with actual things.
Yeah,
because it's like,
and even then, people aren't going to fully understand it because like in your head, like I think as any of us, we try to visualize things and how it would look. So you got to put it in model form, don't you? But actually, that
doesn't even do it.
Doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
The fact that we've never been to these places as well, it's just like, how do you actually compare these
even
things?
Like like the Hubble telescope, that was going for years before it sent back a picture.
Yeah,
years. And that was just going in a straight line. Like,
see how far it could go.
Because I think it was that it sent back the picture that changed our understanding, because it sent the picture back of the Milky Way. So we'd never seen what it looked like before.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you saw that, and then people kind of started to see, understand what actually the universe was. I mean, I can't remember what year it was, but that was a huge scientific discovery.
Oh, I love science.
I love science so much. Yeah. It's the best. I find it just so fascinating.
It is literally like ever changing, and there's no ceiling.
It makes me so excited, but it also makes me feel so insignificant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be as significant as you want to be.
Yeah. But then, like, I read something about, quantum stuff.
Well, what is quantum?
So, I can explain this. Right. So, the quantum is...
That sounds like it's just set up.
No. So, basically, the fundamental principle of quantum means that that there are things in 4 states, which is... So you know how binary is like 1 and 0s?
Yeah.
So it's on or off.
Yeah.
Okay, basically what quantum... this is the fundamental, is that it's you can have something on, off, on and off.
Well, it's like...
No. You can have one... I can't remember.
Conor, you have to Google this one. Go save this man.
Because it's like you can have a 1.
Quantum mechanics is a fundamental theory in physics that provides a description of physical properties of nature that scale of atom and subatomic particles. Is the foundation of all quantum physics, including quantum chemistry, quantum field theory, quantum technology, and... I've lost where I am now.
I didn't understand any of that.
But yeah, where was I? So you can have a 1.
Yeah.
You can have a 0. You can have a 1 and a 0, and you can have a 0 and a 1.
So quantum theory is the theoretical basis of modern physics, explaining the nature, behavior of matter and energy on the atomic and a subatomic particle level. So, what I take from that is
the particles.
They talk about it on the size of an atom rather than like a physical, like 3-dimensional object.
Yeah. So you want to hear
rather than like you are a yard away from me, you are
that's
selection of atoms.
Because didn't Intel finally make the quantum core processor?
Well, they've got a quantum computer now.
Yeah,
but that's where where I was going with this. Is that like, so instead of it being binary, you can have a 1. It can either be 1. Or 0.
Yeah.
Neither.
Or both.
That was it. That was it.
Finally.
Yeah. God, I got really, really screwed over there.
What are you Googling now?
Well, because quantum technology, there's different parts of quantum.
Yeah.
Which I know, obviously, for me, from my point of view, I've looked into more on the computer side of things.
Yeah,
definitely. That interests me. But I kind of wanted to actually, quantum technology is based on the ability to precisely control individual quantum systems. So it's like, I think it's just having more control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, it's so fine. It's so exact.
It's like Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
No. If you put it in a box.
Oh, yeah.
Is it alive or dead?
Dead.
But then with quantum, so it's something that's quite cool. Do you know that we know that atoms behave differently when they're being observed?
Yes, I heard this. And this is when I showed you the video about the simulation theory.
Yes, you're right. But anyway, what I was going to say is that...
I'm not even going to go into that.
What I was going to say is that quantum theory this may be rubbish, but I heard it one time that a scientist was talking about it. But then again, like a lot of scientists disagree with each other when it comes to quantum stuff.
Yeah, because they all research different things.
But what they were saying is that what they're realizing now is that things are actually more... You know how I was talking about we're insignificant?
Yeah.
They're saying that actually, like, it's things are coming more down to the fact that, like, it's your reality.
I mean, a lot of scientists actually disagree. They're actually quite close. Sorry, I completely didn't mean to say it. They're actually quite closed off on their opinions. So it's actually, he was trying to explain that there's not a lot of theories now where they don't disagree. They don't want to hear new ideas, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Which I didn't realise was such a problem, but apparently it is.
What on it?
So you can come up with maybe a theory or an idea, and you're discouraged quite often, quite quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think they already know everything.
Well, yeah, and I think it's got to be like an ego thing.
I guess we should also be developing theories that were already discovered, rather than wasting time.
But then again, do you not think it might be the fact that they have a hypothesis, which is something they've thought, and they're just going out there to prove it?
That's just like what a scientist is.
So they know that they are probably wrong if it's not proven.
Is there a job of a scientist that just literally just researches and tries to find
theoretical
new
physicists?
Yeah.
Their
job is just theoretical
physical that's quite literally looks at theories of why things exist.
So
like they quite literally come up with equations.
That must be
but this is the thing. How do you come up with equations? Like, how do you think?
Why can't I just come up with equations?
Something as simple as gravity. Like, you know what? I'm gonna make it so we can. I'm gonna write an equation on it. If I was to say, Connor, make an equation on gravity, you'd be like,
But it's like
if I drop this, it goes down.
With Einstein, wasn't it? He didn't invent gravity. He knew
gravity.
No, that's Isaac Newton.
So
he invented it. Yeah, before we did.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you invented it." No, he didn't. He's like, "I didn't invent it." It's like he was always there. It's just understanding why it's there.
Yeah, imagine what people would have thought like before they knew that there was a force holding them to the ground.
Oh, it's just like we're animals, aren't we? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
like before that, it's there.
Yeah, true. I guess.
How did he figure that out? How did he know that gravity was a thing? Or like
there was a force that was holding us to the ground.
It makes no sense. Like that man's mind was operating at a different level.
Do you think it's true that it was just the apple falling from the tree? And he was like, "How did that apple fall from the tree?"
So even crazier. Yeah. So there's the comet. What's it called? That famous comet that we get every 60 years.
I know,
or
yeah, but I don't know their name.
So there was this guy way back when, way before computers and everything like that, and the way he realized that things were orbiting and whatnot in the solar system was
Halley's.
Yes, yeah. Basically, so imagine this: like he's finding the position of this thing that's going round, but without any he had to do that. Without any computers,
with his eyes,
it was but he called it I think he was long dead before it actually got proven that he was right. But this guy was ahead of the game.
But also a lot of
a trailblazer.
So now, so a lot of people don't see so especially people who grow up in the city might not see stars for years.
Yeah, that
of their being born.
Oh, that's a light gun.
Oh, it's a light gun. Okay,
interesting.
We'll work with it. But
I don't know.
I'll sort that in a minute. Let me
move that. You can move that one over here.
Maybe let's just shine
Yeah, we go.
Maybe a little bit moodier, but no. So a lot of people.
Why don't you just stand up, mate? Just stand up.
A lot of people won't see stars for years after being, because especially in the city, they're covered by cloud or smog.
Yeah.
Or
Do you remember New Zealand and also when I go to Kenya, you get to some spots and you look up at the stars and it's just like
there's like triple the
it's
amount.
unbelievable.
I mean, it's like I remember like one of the first times India was here.
Mm.
Well, I live in the countryside. India lives in a town. Lots of light pollution. She came out here and she couldn't believe how dark it was. So with you,
it's different.
And then you look up and you can see way more stars than you ever would in the town.
And like that's not even what's that like 5-6 miles away. It's just like how much.
So also, if you think back then, the hundreds of years ago, when some of these famous scientists happened, they were able to see a lot more and understand the sky a lot more than we do now.
That's a really interesting point.
It's just
never thought about that.
People don't think about that. I mean, because that will have a huge effect. Because now we also have pollution in the sky with satellites and and telescopes orbiting. Sometimes you couldn't actually know if it's a star. It could just be this weird thing pointing around in the sky.
We've had that so many times when we're looking at stars. It's just like that could just be a satellite. Like I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's so much up there now. It's just like, what is a star?
Unless you know what you're looking at, which
not got the
not a huge amount of people do.
The stargazing app that I've got.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great app.
It's a weird thing to think about.
Right, what's next though?
Just to move on something a bit light-hearted. What do we want to talk about next? We could talk
Should we make it our last topic for today? Keep it a short one, or
I'm easy, man. I was just talking about the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Okay. What now?
Got to talk
Tom
about
Brady.
Super Bowl.
What a man! Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was that fact? So he's been in 47% of all.
So I've got it here. So he's
5% of all Super Bowls.
10%, I think.
10%,
it is now. God, I should have had this one.
No, I heard he's been in 47% of all Super Bowls. Kobe's
it was
chances of hitting a 3-point.
There's been 50.
It was Steph,
so there's been 55 Super Bowls now.
Yeah.
Isn't there? And that's it.
I've got
that's his 10th.
Yeah, I've got the facts.
Oh, is it?
I've got the I've got the statistics. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes was 6 years old and in kindergarten when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl at the age of 24. Who played yesterday?
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Patrick Mahomes was 25 yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, he's the age of 25 playing.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
He'd be the 10th Super Bowl he started in. He's 7-3 in Super Bowls. He's 10 Super Bowls, won 7. He's got more rings than the Patriots and the Steelers. So the team he used to play for.
That's insane. Well, because
he's played in 18% of all Super Bowls ever. And I think like 50% of all the ones that he's...
We're missing out on a huge key factor. The man's 42 years old.
46.
46?
I think he's 46.
I think he's 42.
No, I think he's 46.
How's he not got chronic shoulder pain?
Because he's the GOAT. That's why.
But also he's spending $1 million a year on his body, isn't he?
He's 43.
43, yeah. I thought he
Old man.
See, like...
what else? What other weird facts?
At what point, though, do you think, enough is enough? I'm hanging up my boots.
Not when you're winning. When you start losing.
But then he had 10 years of not winning any between 2005 and 2015. Because he won 2004, 2005. He won 15, 17, 19. There was another one as well.
I'm going to take your word for it, dude.
Well, he's won 7 now.
Yeah.
Like, he had a couple good years, and then he had 10 years off.
Also, Buccaneers first ever team to win to play and win a home Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. He got MVP as well.
Did he?
Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers got regular season MVP. But
yeah, I knew.
To be 43 years
Aaron
old,
Rodgers is now engaged.
Is he?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He accidentally spilled the beans in his MVP speech.
Did he?
Who's Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is the Green Bay Packers quarterback. He's 37 years of age.
Said to be better than Tom Brady.
Meant to be, but unfortunately...
Clearly can't be.
Yeah, unfortunately he was in the league at the same time.
Yeah. Tom Brady is just mental. He's just absolutely mental.
What a fit wife.
That's really objective, Connor.
Don't she's fit.
Giselle. What I was saying the other last week was that he almost wore number 7. Because he normally wears number 12. Almost wore number 7 at the beginning of this season to signify that he was going to win his 7th ring at the end of the season.
Well, also no. Well, actually, number 12 was already taken.
Yeah,
when he signed.
It's interesting. Ronaldo's number 7 as well, so maybe there's like this thing with 7 and winners.
Well, no, because he's number 12.
Yeah,
he wore number 12 yesterday.
He only wanted to wear number 7 at the beginning of the season because he thought number 12 was taken.
But
yeah, right, okay.
Did you listen to his first point?
No,
but great game. Stayed up and watched it. It was a bit unfair because the Chiefs were playing a bit of a modelled offensive line. So even though Mahomes was trying his best, he just didn't really have...
How they did think the defenses would line up quite nicely against each other's offenses, though.
Well, I thought it was going to be a really high-scoring game. I said...
I mean, when I was watching the build-up, that they didn't think... They thought they were quite evenly matched on both defense to offense.
Well, the Bucks...
More so than most
the Bucks
in previous years.
The Bucks were not the best team to come out of their conference.
But no, the defense was very highly rated in the league.
For sure, 100%. But I think...
If not, I think probably the most...
I don't think they'd get to the AFC or NFC? NFC.
I think so. Can't remember. I think it's
I don't think they would have got out of the. I don't think they would have made the Super Bowl.
But also,
Tom Brady.
You've got to remember, you got Tom Brady and Gronkowski.
Combined 13 times in Super Bowl touchdowns, the highest pairing.
You guys have completely lost me. You guys are in another world right now.
Well, it's just so good to talk about sport.
But,
learn, mate, learn.
Yeah.
Listen.
So how did you fit? How actually not? When I was, what did you think about the way the stadium was with the only 25,000 people in those cardboard cutouts? I thought the stadium was full.
Oh, it looked full.
It looked really good, didn't it?
It sounded really good.
It sounded great.
And
it was actually quite good. So all those 25,000 were
vaccinated,
healthcare workers
and vaccinated.
Yeah.
They were vaccinated. Yeah.
So
I mean,
well done. I know there was a few people there for sponsorship deals. I did see that. Did you see dude with sign?
Yeah.
Dude
with sign was there.
I think that's awful. What a waste of paper.
What
cardboard?
Think of all those trees, man.
Cardboard is
recyclable.
You're right. I don't know why I said that.
And I'm
pretty sure trying to have an input.
Are you just trying to shit on Americans again?
I'm almost certain that you could pay to have your face on a cardboard cutout to go to the Super Bowl, and the money went to charity.
Okay, that's incredible.
I'm pretty sure that's what
you
the whole
can't
deal.
really knock it,
because that's what they did.
Anthony Joshua had one. Harry Kane had one.
They did it at the.
I think probably sponsors, but
They did it for the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
They did it for the EFL Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Last year.
I mean, I agree. I like how they were vaccinated and that there was only 25,000, but I just do think that probably wasn't.
I don't think it sent the right message.
It wasn't smart. I just think that I feel like America just went, it's the Super Bowl. Like, you can't have no fans at the Super Bowl. Like, that's just not how it works. Yeah. Like, a lot of things have gone differently at the moment.
Yes, but I kind of get it though, because I'm also in the thing where it's like, are we going to let this virus literally just destroy?
100%, 100%. But not when they've sort of.
They're not. If you weren't in the state that they are in,
they're in a state where it's been very taking the back seat, not really enforcing much, not really addressing their problems.
I think the state of their country at the minute is especially handling. In England. We're not handling it great. However, we've got a vaccine and we're rolling it out very quickly.
Yeah, we're doing.
I saw something.
They're still not doing that.
The weekend's halftime performance.
They're second on the distribution of vaccines, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's cause
but not. It's not widely, is it? They're not.
Which there's not a there's not a national health service.
Yeah,
they don't really know the numbers because no one's really matching up. But what I was going to say is the Super Bowl halftime show, the weekend. We'll go on to how good it was in a minute. There was a meme, and it was just because everyone there was in masks with the headbandages, and it was like the most amount of people that have been wearing masks in Florida all year. It's just that's so true because it's not mandatory to wear masks there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
in Florida.
Yeah.
They haven't been in lockdown. I don't think.
Damn.
No, they kept open.
They kept everything open the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they only had it in Tampa Bay in Florida.
Did you see?
Because there was no regulations.
Talking about
did they move it or was it originally going to be there?
No, it was always
going to be there.
Talking about Florida, they don't want Donald Trump's office there.
I heard because he wanted to move there. Yeah, no taxes.
There was an agreement that it was only his holiday home, but it has now become its permanent residence.
So what's happening with Trump?
So when you leave office in America, leave office as being president in the States, you tend to open a new office. So your kind of former office, and the whole point of it is more of an ambassadorial role for not only the United States, but to kind of continue your legacy and what your administration would have done. It's to kind of make sure that work doesn't go like unrecognized, but continues to happen. Because I don't
know why Trump's doing that.
As a president, you're either in office for 4 or 8 years, and a lot can change in 8 years. You can also implement a huge amount, but often that.
What can you do after? Can you do anything?
Well, because you still get, as the president, you get daily briefings on national security.
Really?
Even after you leave office, Trump is the only president to be denied that access. So that's down to the president. The incoming president gets to choose now because President Trump refused to let Biden have national security briefings. He has now done the latter for himself too.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Trump only started it himself. I think he's himself to blame
definitely
on that one. Especially the way he didn't act like a president at the end of his presidency.
What happened with the impeachment?
He did get impeached for a second time.
So what's happened?
I think it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall through.
Basically,
the thing from what I've heard is that if they gave it, literally, because they really jumped the gun, the Democrats on this.
Well, they just wanted to get it done.
Well,
didn't
they
they?
had to get it done.
If they waited just
gone.
something like 2 weeks, then they'd have enough. But now they can't get enough on it.
I mean, he'll get done for someone else at some point.
But he's, I think it's inevitable with Trump, isn't it? He's now running, and he's hiding because he tried to pardon his whole family. So if you're trying to pardon your family before you leave office, you've clearly done something wrong.
Yeah, it's so screwed up.
It's a bit fishy.
He didn't act like a president.
Did he get done for inciting violence and becoming a threat to America or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
especially when you've got everyone against you.
It's also hard when you follow Obama and on the outside everyone loves Obama, and you come in and you act like Trump, and it's just like you are literally the polar opposite.
Obama was a really good gentleman. I don't think he actually got much done at all.
Despite the point, but image. I
think the problem with Obama's administration at the end of the first 4 years, he lost control of the House, so he couldn't push anything through.
Whereas
Trump had both the House and the Senate. So it was always going to be hard for Obama to do anything in his last 4 years, whether he had the support of the House or not. And I think that's what people overlook constantly. And I don't think people fully understand in America how much rides on do you have a majority in the House and the Senate. Because they can play ping pong for 4 years with you, where you just go backwards and forwards and do nothing.
Because you can't get anything signed off. Yeah, that does make sense.
And especially when you've got a heavily strong Republican Senate like you did, that was so extreme with their views, they weren't going to let any Democrat do shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Nancy Pelosi's doing at the minute, with what she was doing with the Republicans towards the end of her trial. They do it to each other, and unfortunately, that doesn't help America. That's why they keep look at the reform when it comes to Black Lives, right?
Yeah.
Where how many years after the Civil Rights Movement, and it's a lot better, but it's still awful.
Not great, yeah.
And everyone should understand that Black Lives Matter, that people matter.
That should be the done thing.
It should be a done thing, but yet they still don't. They don't want to make a change. Same with national healthcare. Look at the state of the country now.
Yeah, but
COVID.
I think the whole thing is that it's social change. If you look at their policies and everything, is that if anything, the Democrats have actually they've been the ones to pass laws that are actually more damaging for the African Americans. So I just think it's a bit policy wise is that they have it equal, and that they're asking for changes. What more can you do than the legislation?
Apart
from there are racists out there that we all know this, and it's awful. But how can you can't blame your government, you can only blame the society.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same as people saying that football's racist, and it's just like, there's
no people in football are racist.
Yeah, there's people around the whole world. Like, you don't just say that people that work in IT are racist. It's just like it's a society problem.
I think
not just a football or a.
I think with America as well, it's such what we always forget is it's such a big country.
There's so many different types of people
on all.
So you've got to
everything.
please everyone. And with a country that big, you're not going to please them.
To touch on the National Health Service, like surely this would show everyone that how important and how beneficial paying money every month that is unrecognisable money after a couple of years.
You know that Americans actually make it more expensive for themselves than if they had a national health care.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was watching a video on YouTube about it.
Adding up how much we pay a month. Yeah.
And because of they add the hikes on because it's private businesses, they all put their charges on.
Well, they've got to make profit somehow. It's the same as any business.
Yeah. So but you could these companies these huge medical companies in the UK, they still make profit here. It's just not the huge hikes in prices like there are in the States.
It's crazy. It's just what's the guy that invented the NHS? I can't remember his name. Who proposed the NHS?
Wasn't Churchill? Well,
no, I don't think it was.
Because it happened in the 50s.
No, I don't even know.
Happened just after the war.
Yeah, I should really know his name.
Oh, there's got to be his name.
I remember seeing a newspaper and it was an article about what the National Health Service would entail and what it's going to be, and that guy is probably.
I couldn't imagine life without the NHS.
Here we go, Brad.
And you're in
Bevan.
Yeah.
Bevan. Bev dog.
But yeah, I couldn't imagine life without the NHS. And I think that it's one of these silent things about, the UK that we really take for granted.
Well, a lot of people I know in America really would like to live in the UK because of the National Health Service and that alone.
Imagine having to pay to have a kid.
I mean, I saw a woman on TikTok. She was explaining that her husband died just before she gave birth to triplets, and it ended up costing
her more for triplets.
It cost her $3 million in debt before the child had even left the hospital. She will never in her life be able to pay it off, or she'll ever be able to retire. Because
why do people have kids in America? Like, wouldn't that put
that's
you
ridiculous? $3 million.
It's outrageous.
That's crazy.
Do you pay more for more kid? For like if you have a triplet?
And they're the only nation in the entire world that if your residency's outside of the US but you were born in the US, you still have to pay tax.
Yeah.
US tax.
So it's by oh my god, what's the name for it? I was literally listening to a whole thing about this the other day. They're by citizenship, not by earning.
Yeah, so if you have a citizenship,
it's just outrageous. But yeah, we're probably going to round it off here, aren't we?
Yeah, it was all good. I think that was pretty educational, informal.
Yeah.
Probably got some stuff wrong, but got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Don't fact check us.
We're just young men trying to have a little chit chat.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much for listening to the PMH podcast. It's been episode 5? 6?
Yeah, be sure to check out our social channels.
Yeah, check out our latest vlog.
Follow us at Polar Media House.
TikTok, YouTube.
All of that.
Give us some suggestions for the next podcast because we're clearly running out of ideas because we're spending too much time together.
And, thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Peace out.
Adios.